more pop. What you feel like is giving you more pop is making you longer to get to the zone. All right, guys, so recently I released an analysis talking about the back elbow in relation to the barrel and getting the barrel into the zone. I'm a huge advocate for getting the barrel to a 45-degree angle when the foot lands. But I see a lot of instructors, they teach it this way. I don't teach it this way just because, listen, when I teach, I don't teach from theory. I don't teach from what I think I know. I'm not teaching from what I consider to be a hypothesis. I'm teaching from what has happened to me, what I know for a fact has helped, and what has hindered me as a player at the highest levels of my career, right? So for me, when I played, and we're going to be talking about that 45-degree angle and the relation that the back elbow has to it. So when I played early in my career, I actually used to hit with my hands about this high, right? So if you want to see it from the front, it was about this high. It was where I would hit from. So you can see it from the side. You can see where my elbow is. You can see where my bat is. I've always had a tendency. I've had coaches tell me that, Rafael, you have a hitch. Even from here, your bat wants to make a positive movement in this direction, right? So it's making a positive movement in this direction. So naturally, sometimes you're seeing some hitters, especially a lot of, Manny did it a lot, Big Poppy did it a lot, Barry, he had a big hitch, but it wasn't as much about the elbow going up. But you'll watch guys go from here, and they'll cock their hands, and they'll get here to get to that 45-degree angle so that when the foot lands, they're in a strong position to go. What I noticed from that is if I'm already starting up and I'm already starting close to that 45, if not already at the 45, the more I go up, obviously the more of an acute angle is going to be created with the bat. Now the bat has to get all the way back into the zone to make contact with the pitch. So if you look at this from a logical perspective, this is not science, this is just logic. So when you watch it and we look at the top hand, right? Naturally, if we know the barrel wants to go this way, first thing it's going to want to do is go the opposite direction to create that positive movement, positive force. Watch what happens to the elbow as this goes this way, or vice versa. This is going to influence this because we actually have control over this. As the elbow goes up, see where the back goes? Same thing. But here's the problem. You can't hit a baseball with your barrel in this position. It has to get into this position to make contact. Look at where my elbow has to be. It wants to come back down to the side. It wants to be connected to my body. So if I'm going to be high to start out and you're going to go even more because you think it's giving you more pop, what you feel like is giving you more pop is making you longer to get to the zone and it's sacrificing ability to make contact with the baseball. So for me, as I started to progress in level and started to see the ball coming a little bit harder, I started to notice I was getting beat by harder fastballs. I was getting beat by balls up in the zone. And here's why. Because as that thing goes up, elbow goes up, barrel comes up, but what we just talked about, the elbow has to get back down beside the body, almost to that rib cage, to get the barrel into a slot to hit, right? So what happens is elbow goes up to load, elbow comes back down to swing. Upload, down swing. So the adjustment that I had to make, that I started to make, I relaxed everything in the box. Like it wouldn't even look like I was ready to hit. So I would be in the box just like this. Because what I knew was my elbow naturally wanted to get up. So then what I did was I over-adjusted in the opposite direction to make sure it didn't get too far so I wasn't getting beat by a lot of velocity. I wasn't getting beat up in the zone. I was working from here, and when my foot landed, boom. It was about parallel to the ground. Instead of starting parallel to the ground, what you think is helping you, and you're getting here, and it's hurting you, right? And that's a tendency that you can see a lot from guys that they miss under baseballs, guys that get that elbow up pretty high. Another thing too, chances are if you got a guy that's getting here, you can't beat him up in the zone. Here's the other side of it. He probably controls baseballs low in the zone a lot better, right? So that's for my pitchers. If you see a guy doing that, he's probably going to hammer you. He's probably going to have a better chance of hammering you if you stay lower in the zone versus I would look at climbing the ladder at least late into the AB to get a ball past them.